Oh, okay. What up, folks? You not know us from our other podcast, I Scream You Meme. But today, we're here with something a little different. This is our show where we keep up with monster trappers. This is Trapper Keeper.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm not the Law and Order sound.
Dun, dun. I must take this off. Head sweaty.
I have specifically designed this not 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
For this to be legible backwards.
It is actually backwards. I'm realizing that now.
Oh my God,
Now,
Ben!
I think it, but you know what? It's all right. It's all right.
Do you see
Look,
what you've done?
If it's in terms of like the level of professionalism that the show that we're going to be recapping in this series, Mountain Monsters, is, I think this fits. I think this fits that, you know, the spelling is backwards. I'm sorry I didn't catch that earlier. It was a genuine mistake on my part.
Yeah. We're injecting...
I'll mirror your video, so it looks like we did the right job. Yeah.
Thanks. I never know what side my blue hair is on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, it's on my right side, but everybody else is like, it's on your left side, fool. And I'm like, that's fucked up, you guys.
It is. Yeah, it's tough. Mirrors be playing tricks. That's part of what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's messed up. But you know what isn't messed up? Today's the first episode of Trapper Keepers. We're injecting a little bit of newness in the show just to get more out there instead of going for a month and then hiding and then coming back and then hiding again.
Yeah. Look, we keep our once a month schedule, but it's time that we amp it up. You know, the content game demands it, really.
Yeah, and we were like, you know, we've been at this for 3 years. We need 3 years. How many episodes? There are people who crank out more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Than us.
Oh, yeah. There's like weekly podcasts. There's daily podcasts. We're not doing either of those. A daily podcast would be nuts.
I think we're both talkers, but.
I mean, daily for like what we do, I don't think that would work.
No, like a new meme every day.
Oh, yeah. We would burn out. So I don't know if we'd have to expand it. We'd have to expand our concept, but. Look, we're not doing that. What we're doing instead is we're going to watch the hit show Mountain Monsters.
Mountain Monsters.
Yeah. And JD, I know you got a little background on old Eminem prepared.
Oh, Eminem. Everybody, today I'm going even more lower tech than I usually am. I'm handheld mic. I don't know where my webcam is, and I've handwritten everything today. Just pretend that it's in honor of the amount of tech on this show.
Oh, so, the Ames boys would approve.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Mountain Monsters, what we're looking at today, premiered in June 2013. So that is 11 years ago on Destination America. It focuses on a gang of West Virginian hunters in a group called AIMS. What does AIMS stand for? Appalachian Investigators of Mysterious Sightings. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Cool. It has 8 seasons, 79 episodes. Concluded in 2023 on, apparently, a cliffhanger.
Wow.
Yeah. So
can't wait till we get there.
Yeah.
2 years.
We'll be fucked. Okay. Right. So some of the important things around that time on Destination America, they had the shows Monsters and Mysteries in America, aired in March 2013. Railroad Alaska in November 2013, and then Hidden in America just a year before that. And then on the Travel Channel, we have The Dead Files, Mysteries at the Museum, Mysteries at the Monument, Ghost Adventures, which has been on since 2008 at that time, and then Mountain Monsters actually moved to Travel Channel from Destination America in 2019. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, we had Monster Quest, which was in 2007, Finding Bigfoot in 2011, and then Destination Truth in 2007. And to bring up Finding Bigfoot, are you familiar with Finding Bigfoot at all?
Is that the one with Bobo, the Bigfoot hunter?
Yes. Okay. So one key note is that they had beef with Mountain Monsters.
Okay.
They had a feud because Finding Bigfoot was like, Mountain Monsters is fake.
Yeah.
And they in 2017 they tweeted something about this Mountain Monsters. It's a fake hoax show. So fake hoax show, they said.
Strong words from Finding Bigfoot.
I was sitting there like, okay, so is it like when someone says, "Ooh, you like this," so it's like it's a fake hoax show, or is it like, or is it a fake hoax show?
It's kind of double negative there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, But yeah, that's who we're covering today. Beautiful mountain monsters. It's kind of we'll get into what the kind of it is.
It's
as
something.
we
It's something
go.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every episode of Mountain Monsters opens with this disclaimer, quote, "Do not attempt. The traps and procedures seen in this program were developed by experienced professionals and should not be duplicated. Before conducting any hunting or trapping activities, consult appropriate authorities to ensure that your actions are safe and legal." The intro describes the stars of the show as, quote, "a band of hardcore hunters and trappers. Their quest to hunt and presumably kill cryptids in Appalachia." We're also treated every episode to a roll call of our heroes, featuring Trapper, the team leader.
Yeah.
He's an old white man in a Yosemite Sam fit. He's got a bandana on his neck, and he claims to spend 250 days a year in the woods. We got Buck, the rookie. He's a younger white man with a perpetual bandana on his head. We have Huckleberry, security. Old white man with a beard in a Yosemite Sam outfit. He's big. He's tall. Does not wear a bandana. Jeff, the researcher. Old white man with a beard in overalls. Willie, the trap builder. Who's a middle-aged white man in camo. And last but not least, certainly not least in my book, Wild
Not
Bill,
the least.
the expert tracker, who is I would say middle-aged white man, no beard, guns out, tank top all the time. That's our crew. That's our crew. And
that's our gang.
Yeah, the intro closes with "When folklore bites back and leaves a trail of proof, one team of native West Virginia sons seeks the truth."
That's kind of good. If they pick up from like the season 8, they get over that cliffhanger. Let's send you in.
We need Mountain Monsters back for the this current time of this is what we need.
We need that shit back.
Please
come
back.
Kind of
Please come back,
back.
Mountain Monsters. Episode 1 is titled "The Wolfman of Wolfe" with an E County. So, Trapper, not to be confused with Willie, the trap builder, opens the episode stating that Wolfe County has to be a place for a Wolfman. To which Jeff, our researcher, responds, "You'd think." Now, Wolfe with an E County is named after a dead old white guy, not the presence of Wolfman. So Jeff is already missing some fact-checking opportunities. We're told that in 2006 they started AIMS, which, as JD covered, is the Appalachian Investigators of Mysterious Sightings. This is, as far as I can tell, unverifiable. Their website, aimsa.org, was archived as far back as 2007, but none of the archival pages prior to the release of the show actually work. So the first dates that work are in like 2013.
Okay.
Jeff tries to redeem himself by saying that in his research, he found that Wolfe County, Kentucky, has some abandoned silver mines from the 1700s, and that he believes this is where the Wolfman is hiding. He describes the Wolfman as a wolf man, wolf creature, wolf monster. We're talking like a 7-foot, 500-pound wolf. Jeff says that the Wolfman has been seen since the 1970s and that it's a killing machine. And Huckleberry, with his security-focused mind, chimes in to say that people actually lock their doors and stuff down there at night and won't go outside because they were that feared of it. And then Jeff, this is I feel like where the first real twist turns. Is Jeff then describes the creature as a bearilla.
Yes.
Did you catch that? Yeah.
Yeah, bearilla. I at first was like, "What is a bearilla?" And then
share with the people
what it is. A bearilla is a predator. It is a bear. Okay. I focused on the bear part. Was it bear gorilla?
It's a bear gorilla combo.
Okay, and they really were like one of the words that they really enjoyed in this episode was bipedal.
That was a thing where it was just like, you're telling me that you're a hunter. Your whole thing is your name is fucking Trapper. You're like, I spent 250 days in the wood, and you don't know that like a 2-legged track is different from a 4-legged track, and the word for like 2-legged is outside of your vocabulary? Come on, bro.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was like, you're lying. You're know lying. A bipedal. It's not a
cap.
science
That's cap.
word.
That's fucking cap. For sure.
100%. I was like, no, you know that word.
Yeah, because Trapper's like, I don't know what it is. I love when Jeff uses smart words, and Tracker, and Jeff is like, it stands up on its hind legs and runs like hell and kills everything in sight. That's his definition of bipedal.
Okay.
So Buck, the youth of the show, celebrates this definition, saying, "Yeah, there we break it down to redneck terms." So we're getting a sense of kind of the banter of the show, the dynamics of the group, you know. So the team meet with an outdoorsman and witness who's only known as R, who is an old white man with a beard in overalls and a floral bandana on his head. He's kind of a Voltron of like all of the Ames members in one person, I think. R opens with some local wisdom as a hunter. If it flies, it dies. That's his big quote. He recounts a sighting. While he was hunting in the woods, he saw something far away that he describes as large and dark. As it walked into a clearing, he says it looked like a huge wolf on its back legs. He says it was probably 7 foot tall and 400 pounds. So a little scrawnier than Jeff predicted. But it wasn't flying, so he didn't kill it. I think that's how that works, probably. Yeah. As R describes the creature, we get some sick footage of a CGI model of the Wolfman. What did you think of the CGI? What do you think of the Mountain Monster CGI?
I won't skip to one of the episodes. I'll hold off on that one. We'll get there. I was like, you know what? I can't say anything. It's 2013. You know?
It's 2013.
It's 2013. But I
feel like there was probably there was better CGI in 2013 for sure.
When did the Avengers come out? The Avengers was like 2012, right?
Yeah,
I know this is Destination
before
America.
Look, Destination America was not putting up MCU money for sure.
Yeah,
but
surely there were some assets. What's that one show that had like the animals that they would compare to like a baby running on the ground?
Yeah, that looked better than this. The wolf. Yeah. I mean, the hair textures are all fucked up in the show. Like the Wolfman looks. I don't know. The hair looks like it's like clipping through reality. It's all messed up.
Yeah, I listen. I know it was first season.
Yeah.
They're not putting the budge in there just yet.
That's fair. You know,
there's just find a wolf asset and then make it big. Yeah. Make it big and bipedal.
Yeah. What the fuck does bipedal mean, JD? You're trying to hit me with the science terms.
Sorry, it stands on 2 legs and it kills people and shit. And I wrote down that they said huge, powerful, and quick for this bearilla creature.
Yeah. Back to Barilla for 1 second. We're talking about a Wolfman. This is not a foreign concept, right? Yeah. This is not something that they're making up for the show. Why is a bearilla on like the tip of anyone's tongue when you're describing a werewolf? Okay.
You know what a werewolf looks like.
Yeah. Everybody knows what werewolves are. It's a big wolf man.
Okay, but the thing is though, if you were like imagine dragons, but imagine a bearilla. You're not like, it's not connected. Do you immediately go, it kind of looked like werewolf? No, bearilla.
No,
I'm like
bearilla. Well, 2 things that are completely different from a wolf or a human. Bearilla.
People know what a werewolf is. It's 2013.
People know what a werewolf is. Yeah, bringing his research skills for sure on that one.
Like I may have not seen Twilight before, but I think Van Helsing was around before this. Surely, right?
Surely, yeah. Werewolves we're not made up for the show. We're definitely like, they're pulling from a long lore history there. So anyway, Trapper asks Buck to stand near some trees to get a sense of scale for the creature that R saw.
That part.
Buck says, I'm not tall enough, and Trapper says he'll just add 2 feet to where he's standing. So Short King Buck is confirmed because we're dealing with
representation.
A 7-foot monster. Buck is about 5 feet then. We get some playful music while Buck describes his place in the group as, I'm the young pup. But the Trapper, he likes to pick at that a little bit. Buck is tasked with touching a tree and reaching as high as he can, and the rest of the team is absolutely cracking up watching this unfold. Huckleberry calls Buck the low man on the... Wait, what does he call him? Sorry, low man on the totem pole. Sorry, I miswrote this. And says that picking on him is natural, quote, it's like having a teddy bear.
This is we both focused on that because I wrote down it's like having a teddy bear too. Did you also catch when he's like responding to them and Buck is like, I can't reach 7 to 8 feet, Santa Claus.
Yeah. So the banter's there. And there's some love between the boys, I think.
Yeah.
Huckleberry, I think, is like maybe the most like emotionally mature one. I feel like the way he talks is like sometimes more expressive than the others. I feel like there's moments.
Yeah,
where,
he's
like,
not.
like,
He's not sitting in like. Yeah, he's not sitting in the like I'm a stereotypical hunter man. I've got like dad.
Yeah.
I've got Huckleberry. I've got 4 syllables in my name. Do you know what I mean?
Huckleberry. Yeah, it's almost a scientific word. God damn it.
Exactly.
The fun music cuts out though, right? And then we got like serious music as Trapper notices that the signs of Wolfman activity are there. So he points to what looks like a perfectly normal tree, and then they like lighten it in editing to make the signs of the Wolfman rubbing more apparent.
Yeah.
And Buck foolishly asks how he knows it's a Wolfman evidence and not a bear by rubbing his own back on the tree, which is like the same place where the rubbing was, I felt like. And then Trapper explains, he's like, well, a big bear would have scratched the tree before it rubbed it, and a little bear would be shorter. And he demonstrates that by rubbing his back low on the tree exactly where the rub marks are. And I was like, Trapper, you're not helping your case here, man.
No.
But, you know, Trapper is now like, yeah, so our story checks out. And the team begins the night 1 investigations. And this is where we're starting to get like the format of the show.
Yes.
Be the witness, do the investigation. Blah, blah, blah. At night, as Trapper explains it, it has to be night because it's absolutely the best time to investigate a predator. And the Wolfman's a predator. So that's some hunting knowledge for you. Right there. The series music continues as Huckleberry describes the danger of being on R's property at night. The danger is unreal, according to Huckleberry. They begin looking for caves and tracks, and Jeff describes the importance of research, warning us amateurs that if you don't know your animals and you don't know what you're doing, you're never going to be able to track your creatures. So
yes,
animals first, then creatures. That's how it's got to work. The thermal camera gets broken out as they stand at the base of a stone overhang, and Buck explains the danger that they're in. There could easily be something above us, watching us, stalking us. We could easily be its next meal. I feel like that this is almost like Buck's unofficial catchphrase.
Yeah.
This
Buck
comes up
like,
in multiple episodes.
Buck so far is giving like he's a new baby. He also is like at times shows some skepticism about like what he's being told, right? We've got like, how do you know that this is a bear? And all that stuff. And then he gets he's working on some catchphrases at this point.
He is, yeah. He's testing something like that. Buck he's the questioning mind of the group, I think. He's definitely like the least likely to kind of just follow Trapper's lines. What's happening.
Because he's like, I'm new. I've not been around. He's
a
hunter,
rookie.
But
They gotta break him in.
Yeah, he's not as experienced in seeing all these creatures just yet.
The rest of them have been doing it since 2006, quote unquote. So they're pretty experienced, but Buck, he's just starting out. So they really drive in the risk of being below this like stone overhang cliff thing, and then Trapper finds where the Wolfman could den up. As they enter the den, they find a very clean collection of animal bones. It's a kill site, they determine. That's got cow skulls and everything. Trapper is shocked and describes it as the biggest boneyard he's ever found. The cow bones send chills down their spines as they realize that the overwhelming power of the Wolfman is capable of transporting a 1,000-pound cow or running down a 40-mile-per-hour coyote.
Jesus,
that's a dangerous creature. This is why it's for professionals, right? Trapper says they're up against a predator that no human should be up against. That son of a bitch is a mountain monster. Bam, mountain monster.
Yes.
First episode.
Yes.
Bam.
Yes.
And we're on his ass.
I literally wrote that down, and I was like, "They say mountain monster."
Yeah. Yeah. A little bat to the bone sting.
Oh God.
So night 1 is over, and Buck is on his way to meet Willie, the trap master, who describes himself as the MacGyver of the group, capable of building a trap that can hold anything, especially the human women in his basement. Buck meets. No, I think Willie's nice. I'm playing jokes. Buck meets Willie at the junkyard where they source iron and steel for the drop cage trap, which is a metal box that they will be dropping on the Wolfman's ass. Willie has a DIY spirit. He refuses to buy new Wolfman traps and prefers to make his own the old-fashioned way. Despite Buck being the rookie of the team, Willie is glad to be paired with him because of Buck's raw strength. As we're told of Buck's overwhelming power, we watch him struggle to get a piece of sheet metal into the bed of a truck. While Willie and Buck work on the Trapper, Jeff, and Huckleberry seek their next witness, Turtle Man.
Turtle Man
is not half man, half turtle.
He's not a bearilla, Ben.
He's not a bearilla. He does say that he lives strictly off the land, and apparently has video evidence of the Wolfman. So Turtle Man breaks down his diet for us. Did you catch that for us?
Yeah, well, but he said like he doesn't eat something though.
I have it here. Yeah. Quote, I eat groundhog, possum, skunk, coon, not skunk, but coon. I think so. I think he eats skunk. I'm going to go out on the
He
line
was
there.
like,
I shouldn't say that on TV.
Let me speak.
Yeah. Wait. I was so but Trapper steps in to say that he's like, yeah, groundhog's the best eating of all. And so they're boys, they're homies. So they spend a while fluffing up the video. They're telling us about the 7-foot tall Wolfman, 3 feet across the back, broad, 350 to 500 pounds. Just a big burly monster. And then we see Turtle Man's footage, and it's like a nondescript shape walking behind a tree. Yeah, Turtle Man is seeking vindication. He wants to spread the word about this mysterious creature. And so he wants the Ames team to get more evidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Turtle Man and R are conveniently only like 2 miles apart from each other. And Trapper decides that the best place for the trap is like midway between these two sites, which is why he's the group leader.
Mm-hmm.
So Willie explains the complex mechanisms of a drop trap. So it's a box that you drop on something.
You drop, yes.
Yes. As the trap construction continues, we meet our third witness, Jasper, who hunts traps and snares, and is the first one to have a normal name. Jasper heard the howling of the Wolfman and saw it as he checked his snares in the holler. Now, holler is something that you hear a lot on this show. Do you have what a holler is?
I'm a city boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're saying sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm down to clown. What is that?
I believe a holler is like a small kind of valley, kind of a little, you know, it's not like a big valley. It's like a little like kind of tight space between hills.
Okay.
Right. Over hill and holler.
Okay.
Would be like a way to describe it. But yeah, they tend to say holler. They also don't say Wolfman, right? They say Wolfman.
Wolfman.
So there's some accent stuff going on here.
All right.
Jasper also found a track where he saw the creature, and he captured a photo of the track, which they all describe as big. But Trapper puts two and two together, realizes there was absolutely no scale in the picture, and says a wolf could probably leave a track about the size of his hand. So he asks Jasper specifically if the trap was bigger than his hand. Jasper responds, it was bigger than your hand. Therefore, Wolfman could only be
big.
It's big.
This scene was the equivalent of me holding up my iPad to the camera and saying, "Look at this mermaid."
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very leading questions, I would say, from Trapper in this section in particular. Yeah.
He does have a big hand though.
Massaging the witness.
Yeah.
What's the scale of Trapper's hand? Do you think it's bigger than my hand? Did you say it's bigger than my hand?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Well, maybe it was. Who knows? So it's something big, as Trapper describes the track. They play what sounds like the Squidward walking noise. Did you feel like that when they demonstrate toes in the show? They're like, so they're trying to demonstrate where the claws are, right? So with Jasper's testimony and the convenient location is like another like 2 miles away from both the other guys, they are able to triangulate the trap location between the three. So Willie explains how the trap works. They place a goat onto the trap as bait, and then it's something called a drop cage trap. So it's a box, and then they drop it. So it's a pretty advanced stuff. I don't know if, like, as city people, if we're quite getting it, you know.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. So they test the drop trap, which is where we are introduced to Wild Bill. Wild Bill, I think, is the only one physically capable of climbing a tree. And so he makes his first appearance as he sets the trap up. Wild Bill also needs subtitles sometimes, but they're not consistent with it. They should be consistent with it because I think he always needs them.
As someone who is both hard of hearing and from the city, sometimes he escapes me.
It's a challenge for sure. So Wild Bill's first line where he gets subtitles is "Hey's our game, brothers." And Trapper immediately responds. Did you catch Trapper's line after that?
No, I didn't.
I almost got a chubby on. It was so much fun.
When did he say this?
so-
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah, that's a quote. It's a direct quote from the show.
Do you think it was because I was trying to process what
I think
Wild
that might
Bill
have been,
was
yeah,
saying?
maybe that was like a little like kind of flashbang, and you were like disoriented to hear Trapper say that his dick got hard, or almost got hard, like from watching Trap fall. Yeah.
When I listen to this episode, when I review this, I'm going to rewatch that scene.
Oh yeah.
When the hell did he say that?
It happened like right after he dropped the trap. Wild Bill says he's our gang brother, because I was like, rewatching to catch what Wild Bill was saying, and Trapper says, "I almost got a chubby on. It was so much fun."
What the fuck?
Yeah, but unfortunately, the fun has to come to an end, and Trapper's dick has to soften because the serious music kicks back in, while Trapper describes a plan to further scout the area. So, as they scout the area, they find some tracks near a water hole. The tracks, they claim, is the size of a coffee can, which is pretty big. Probably bigger if the
I wrote that down. I was like, the size of a coffee can.
That's pretty big. I feel like coffee cans are girthy.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I'm thinking of that yellow one.
A Cafe Bustelo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cafe Bustelo. That's a big coffee can.
That's a big can.
Yeah, I guess there's like smaller coffee cans, but like, we're thinking, when you hear coffee can, you're thinking the big one, right?
Yeah. If they're saying that like this is the size of a coffee can, I'm like, yeah, the big kind, right?
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, I would hope so. Otherwise, it's not really impressive if you're just saying like it's like,
This is the size of a Monster Energy can.
Yeah, no, not scary. Not scary. That's not even a wolf. Wild Bill is called over, and this time he doesn't get subtitles, but he says, "Fuck it." I think he says, because they blurt some things out. "Fuck shit." Damn, look at the size of that. Weighs got 600 pounds. Old wellies, that thing's. So he addresses Trapper's penis directly at the last bit.
What?
Did you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So I think he's estimating that the size of it, 500 to 600 pounds. It's got to be pretty big, right?
6 foot stride is what I wrote down as well. It has a 6 foot stride.
It's a big creature. Understandably shaken by the weight of Wild Bill's words, they all strategize a plan to create a funnel to direct the Wolfman towards their trap. They get to work. They start kicking dirt and throwing sticks to clear a path for the Wolfman to follow. This is a big thing that Trapper will talk about, is the path of least resistance, and creating that by to funnel the creatures.
Mm-hmm.
If they have obstacles, they'll go around it and go a different way. So you got to make it as easy as possible for them to want to do it. So suddenly it's night 3, the final hunt, and this is where we learn that nothing ever happens on night 2. It's always night 1, night 3. They place the goat under the drop cage, and Jeff sets up and explains how an infrared camera works as he, puts that together. Trapper reassures us that the goat, Daisy, will not be in danger when the Wolfman is caught, because once the trap drops, all the Wolfman can think about will be the trap. So Daisy will be fine. Which I feel like a Wolfman would still eat a goat.
Yeah, it would harm the goat in one way or another.
It might blame the goat. Who knows? I don't know how a Wolfman works.
Goat blaming.
I don't know how a barilla mind works.
I don't know how these baristas work.
Baristas, yeah. Typical blue-eyed barista. Yeah. Who knows, man? As they're standing in the dark, Trapper considers a hole in the plant. I never did thought that some bitch might climb up a tree. He's definitely got the muscle mass to do it, which, yeah, that's fair. It's a whole other dimension.
Real.
To escape, yeah. A branch breaks in the woods, and Wild Bill and Huckleberry investigate, and they find another crack. Trapper hears another twig snap and realizes that they're surrounded by Wolfmen. Buck, Willie, and Jeff find a hole in the ground, and they realize it must be a den, and given the small size of the hole, Willie volunteers to climb into the hole. He immediately screams and falls back.
Mm-hmm.
When asked what happened, his first response is, "I don't know." And then a few seconds later, he's like, "All I see is a flash of fur."
Mm-hmm.
Trapper realizes that we're not dealing with a Wolfman, but possibly Wolfmen. He thinks they're a couple. He thinks it's a heterosexual wolf.
Yeah,
couple.
It was like maybe a man and a woman.
A man and a woman.
Yeah.
Like, all right. How do you
Damn,
know?
Willie's writing fan fiction at this point.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Trapper and Huckleberry consider their motivations. They realize that it's toying with us. Maybe it's not trying to face off. Mm-hmm. So Wild Bill honestly adds, "No, Billy, not this time. Oh, shit. Not this time. I mean, hey." Wild Bill's words are cut off by a howl, and Trapper points out that it's not a bear. and probably not a bear relay either.
Uh-uh.
They all freak out, saying that they've never heard anything like that before. They're from West
Yeah.
Virginia, and they don't have things like that there. Trapper interprets the howl, now a roar, as a
Mhm.
warning and a proclamation of control. So it's a warning. The Wolfman is warning them to get the fuck out.
Back the fuck up if we get
Fuck out of
smacked the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Ugh,
that's
what
exactly
the Wolfman
what
was doing.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So, following this indescribable noise, they decide they have to regroup. As they get together, they hear something else. Jeff uses the infrared camera and spots something moving on a nearby hillside, while Bill and Willie go up the hill and try to flush out the mysterious creature towards the trap. As they reach where the mysterious Wolfman was, they find nothing there. Willie says he saw something take off. Willie and Bill point their guns. Buck, down the hill, points his gun, and the sound effect of a shotgun racking plays, even though his hands don't move. Feeling certain that the Wolfman, that they have the Wolfmen, wolf partners, wolf peoples,
Wolf couple.
the wolf folks, where they want them, they pile into the ATVs and drive back towards the drop trap, which is a trap where a box drops on the target.
Gotta remember that
Daisy-
people from the city.
Yeah, Daisy the goat is fine. The trap was not activated. Jeff checks the camera. Trapper reads tracks around the trap, interprets that the Wolfmen circled the trap but did not enter. Checking the footage, they see the fear in Daisy's eyes, and then the Wolfman walks right in front of the camera, too close to appear as anything but a blur. They realize the trap was placed the wrong way. Otherwise, they would have caught the Wolfman. Unfortunately, they didn't anticipate that there was going to be more than one. So, it's a near miss for the pilot, but surely not the last we'll see of the Wolfman of Wolfe County. Episode 1
Bravo.
of Mountain Monsters.
Bravo.
Yeah.
So what did we think?
What did we think? So
What did we think? I had put up some bullet points of things to think about and keep in mind as of discussion in our beautiful Discord, which was major characters, funny things, weird things, lore related stuff, and overall thoughts.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
We are the same person. We were paying attention to a lot of the same things.
Yeah. A lot of things stand out to us.
A lot of things stand out to us. One of the things that I think I'm gonna go for right now, the evidence.
The evidence, okay.
I did like a out of 5 belief scale when I was noting down the evidence prior to everything that was happening with Monsieur Turtle Man, which was the claw marks, the rubbing up against the tree, the bones and shit, the boneyard. I gave the claw marks a 3, mostly because I could not see them at all. Was it because of my eyesight?
I didn't see them either.
The rubbing up against the tree, why did I put a 4 there? Was I being really kind that day?
Okay, so you were feeling like Trapper's explanation made more sense than Buck's criticism that it could have just been a bear.
I think I was being nice that day because I also was just like, oh, maybe I'll do that as a 2 because it could be a tiny bear. And then the bones you mentioned, they were clean.
Yeah.
And I know maybe like, what is that? Like sun bleaching and all that stuff.
Right, but it was inside of a cave.
Yeah.
Or like a little den. Yeah.
I gave that and the concept of the boneyard a 2.
And the Wolfman's doing like the little he's like sucking the bones clean.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of this, for me, really depends on the fact that I am a city boy.
It's fair, yeah.
Because you could, if I was just watching this on, like, without our thinking caps in mind, that our orange hunting hats in mind, I'd just be like, you could say anything. When they're like, I know how to read a map. This is my years of experience. I know about the biology, the ecology of this location. I can measure 7 feet from far away and know how much something weighs.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm following you into the woods, I guess.
Right. So you would trust the Ames boys. So they were like,
yeah, because I can't be like, actually, well, I can do that for like, oh, and now this is the history of the Kentucky Wolfman. Because then I'd be like, I could look that up and or I'm a little bit familiar with it, but I also am like, how do you, okay. I am 4'11",
Mm-hmm.
2 of me is a little over 8 feet tall. Do you mean that you can ID from the distance that you're looking at how much 7 feet is? Could you do that then?
Probably not very well. No.
And
I
then
mean,
like the weight of something is nuts.
yeah. I don't think that's really I don't think I'm great at estimating the size of other beings, entities.
Yeah, so I felt
Like
like
I'm
a
always
lot.
surprised by like how heavy like a cow is or like a horse. I'm just like, damn, those are fucking huge.
Yeah, and I don't even know the concept of 500 pounds.
That's like
That's
2 of me, pretty much. Well, like 2 and a quarter.
like 4.5 of me.
Okay, yeah.
So I still doesn't. I
Not
don't even.
helpful to hear that.
It's
Like
not helpful.
500 pounds is probably like a rock and a half, maybe.
It's a
Like
boulder.
Rock Johnson and a half. Yeah.
A boulder the size of a boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, I don't know, a lot of the evidence and the stuff that happens in the show is like definitely depends on the fact that I don't know shit about the woods.
Right. That's fair. Yeah.
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 A lot of, which I don't mind because I don't know
You don't
shit about a
necessarily
lot
want
of
to
things.
learn about the woods.
Yeah,
Right.
and if
As
I
we
was
discussed,
going
yeah.
to go into the woods and these guys were just like, "Don't, it's huge," I'd be like, "Yeah." I'm not gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Hold on,
So
let me fact check."
You would trust Turtle Man if Turtle Man comes up to you and is like, "Look, man, first of all, I don't eat skunk. Listen, you don't want to go in those woods."
You forgot to
"You
mention
gotta
the
hurt
fact
me."
that this man is raw dogging the earth.
Is Turtle Man barefoot?
Turtle Man is barefoot.
Turtle Man's barefoot? I didn't know Turtle Man was barefoot.
I swear to God, he's barefoot. Like,
I know
he goes through the world barefoot.
There is another witness in a later episode that we'll get to. Maybe next.
Maybe
that next
oh
one?
my God! I swear he was raw dogging the planet.
I'll need to consult the footage of that one.
Oh my God! No, that's a different guy. Sorry. I skipped there, but that's how much of an impact it left on me. I remember somebody was raw dogging the earth.
Shocking for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll get to him next time.
We'll get to him.
Folks, tune in. We'll hear about some earth dogging.
He's raw dogging the earth. And I won't even tell you what sort of raw dogging. But yeah, like no, I do. Your turn.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think the bone thing felt especially produced, and full disclosure, you and I have both seen like later episodes of the show where I think the producer's things get out of hand.
They get out of hand.
This is fairly tame. This is like kind of a standard. So far, the episodes of that we watched, the pilot, more or less a standard monster hunting show.
Yeah. It's on it.
Things get weird later on. Things get more intense than any other show is willing to get.
Yes.
Which potentially is why Destination Bigfoot. What was the other Bigfoot one? Finding
Bigfoot, yeah.
Finding Bigfoot had some smoke with them because Finding Bigfoot, I think, was a little bit more like we're researching.
Yeah, Finding Bigfoot isn't always finding evidence of things.
Right, and it's not. There's not necessarily psychic warfare.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, I think like the hands are a little bit being shown already. Like they do get closer in this episode to catching the Wolfman than I think other shows would be willing to say that they did.
Yeah.
And they're also, I think, like the bone thing to me felt very produced, where it's like this like perfect pile of bones that they're all like, oh my God, and there's a lot they have never seemingly seen anything like what they see in an episode.
Yeah, and it's like as hunters, as experienced outdoorsmen, they should know that like there are other animals here that could have also done this. If this was a real yard of bones, mayhaps another creature could have done this.
Right. I mean, like I don't know the creatures that are wandering around the West Virginia or the Kentucky woods.
Where's the Jersey? My dumb ass was like,
you said where the Jersey Devil?
Yeah, I meant the Mothman.
I'll give you 3 guesses. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I meant the Mothman, but the second I said it, I was like, girl. Oh, Lord, keep that in there.
It's okay.
That one's staying in there, but...
What's your podcast on? Is it on the cryptids and the monsters?
So my manager said I can't answer that question.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so you'll have to ask my manager. Sorry.
Okay, fair enough. We'll circle back.
Yeah. Ma'am. Boneyard is part of evidence. I think they do capture a lot of. They do, like, even if it's just like, oh, here's like, how many paw prints of the bearilla did they catch?
Many a print was found.
Many a crisp ass print on the ground
that are the size of coffee cans, that are bigger than hand, that are just, you know.
It's just, they have a first episode. Okay, like, okay. Maybe, okay. Let's say in the other episodes they don't catch like a bajillion pieces of evidence. Maybe this is the one that's like, oh, to draw you in, we have a trillion pieces of evidence, and you know, maybe this is going to continue. Our luck is going to continue the rest of the time.
Yeah, right. It's like if it starts this high, we can only go up from here.
Yeah,
like look how good we did on our first shot.
We can only go up from here, and we can also get involved in some psychological warfare.
Yeah,
sometime in this. How did you feel about our crowdsourced evidence from the witnesses?
I would say none of it was particularly compelling. Yeah, I think the paw print photo sucked. That may have been the worst one, because it's like, you're really like, no scale. You weren't just like, let me stick like my foot next to it, or a hand, just like a
spoon,
close up shot. Yeah, anything that we can be like, oh, I know how big that is. Come on, man. Come on. Who was that? Jasper,
the most normal name, the most non-normal form of thinking.
Fucking nothing evidence provided.
It's like, okay, the witness number 1, I didn't even catch the fact that he had a name. I just put witness A, so I gave him a different letter. Okay. I did like that, you know, like, obviously, okay.
Yeah.
I will say that, you know, if someone's like, I saw this guy and he was wearing a green shirt and some red boots, and everyone's like, yeah, I also saw this guy and he had green shirt and red boots. That's like consistency, right? But sometimes it did feel a little too on the nose when they're like, yeah, he was 7 feet.
7 feet tall. That's
300 to 500
catch, where they're like, exactly what Jeff described. Interesting. Yeah.
It was always like, the evidence that we have is almost exactly to the T of how we're describing the thing that we have.
It's jarring sometimes. We're like, exactly what they were describing in the car before. Wow.
The only new thing that anybody offered was that it was 3 feet across the back.
Yeah, just broad shoulders, big, strong creature. Can you picture 3 feet across the back?
So that's like a 1 foot, a foot and 11 inches less than I am. So maybe it's like, this is a foot, this is another foot. Maybe it's like to the middle of my tummy. I don't know.
But like wide.
So like I'm laying sideways. I still don't know what that means. Is it like that's like, still okay? Let's say that's big.
Broad back, I guess. Yeah.
Let's say that's big.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of their evidence is very like, and it definitely like I said, you know, if a lot of people see a guy who's wearing a green shirt and red shoes, I believe it. But this feels too on the nose. Yeah,
that's fair. The Wolfman in CGI is super jacked.
Van Helsing, Wolfman.
Yeah.
Almost. No barilla in sight. I saw that and I was like, who is saying this is a bear and a gorilla?
Nobody's saying that. No one is ever a bearilla. That's not a thing.
I would argue it's a wolf and a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, consider the alternative. That's right there, Jeff. Yeah.
The other way around.
Yeah, strange.
Things were definitely happening in this one.
Yeah, like a bearilla would make a sick like T-shirt. I would say that, like a lifting shirt, you know.
Merch like opportunity
a muscle
for
tee.
us.
There we go. Yeah, like a bearilla.
You said my activation code, which is muscle T.
Muscle T. There we go.
I'm wearing one under.
Locked in.
I'm wearing one under my plaid, my hunter uniform. The the other sort of evidence thing that they really, really capture really astonishingly well is all of the audio of the roaring. At some points, I did think that, like, was this added on? Yes, it was added on, JD. But like, I mean, like,
you were.
I was like, wait a minute, why is that hella loud?
Right, it's like more clear than anything else that they're saying. It's
There's not even the like distance effect to it. Like, they didn't think like, let's do an SFX that's like, oh, you can hear this audio from outside of a room and it's so far away. No, it is like they're holding the microphone up to the Wolfman Barilla.
The Wolfman came in and just made ADR work for them. It was
It's like, guys, was that crisp enough? Was that like believable enough that I was like very angry? Because I can do a couple more takes.
Do I show? I'm like a SAG member after this? Is that how this works?
It's like, no. Actually, you have to do it 3 times. No. Okay, if you speak on camera, you get a SAG thingy already. That kind of thing. So
right, that's why they didn't show the Wolfman, because then they would have to give him the SAG card.
Yeah, so it was just the voice. You know, he may have to reach to the out to the voice actor union, but not SAG just yet.
Not SAG. Oh,
but
sorry, Wolfman.
Sorry, Wolfman. But I put in here. I know we don't have the same timestamps because I'm not watching it on methods. It's a roar, like like towards the end, like a roar.
Yeah, it is. Like a lion's roar. Yeah, it's a very, very clear stock roar, perhaps. Yeah,
stock audio. It was like the Wilhelm scream.
It was, yeah.
What are we up? What are we up for, babe?
What are we up for? It's only up for here for sure. And folks, you can hear more about Mountain Monsters as we dive deep into the catalog of this show and potentially the spin-off show as well someday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're gonna have to we're stretching our imagination at this point. It's basically like if I was Mountain Monsters, I think, is both the equivalent of me holding up my iPad to the camera and also bringing a sort of sea creatures every single time we did one of those evidence episodes that we used to do.
Yeah.
But this time, I'm not responsible for it.
No, we're decalcifying our pineal glands by watching the show.
Hell yeah, we're doing that. Sure. But one thing I did notice that you didn't hear, because I remember I highlighted this.
Okay. And
I remember we once watched, I don't know if we watched it around the same time-ish. It was like a Finding Bigfoot one where he like, he was up there, I jerked him off on the tree and something like that. He said something like the goat man was up there and I he said something strange. I don't know who said this, and now because of what you said, that Trapper said that I didn't hear at all because I blacked out. One of them does say about the hole that they found after Willie gets out of it. He says, I definitely see something sliding in and out of this hole. And I can't believe you did not catch that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. All right.
Okay. So you caught one and I caught one. I highlighted
That's why we were the brain trust.
The brain trust.
Keep it together.
Our pre-shrinking pineal gland. I did catch, I quote, I definitely see something sliding in and out of this hole.
Well, probably Willie. That was probably Willie speaking. Willie would be talking about sliding in and out of holes. So
yeah, because then after that is when he gets grabbed by something and sees the flash of fur, but nothing on the thermal. So he after seeing something sliding in and out of that hole, he was like, "Let me get in there."
Yeah, something that's another play-by-play. That's exactly what happened. Willie was watching some hole sliding and couldn't resist.
Now that at that point, Trapper was like, "There's 2 of them."
Yeah,
Willie, I believe you just walked in on something.
I believe so. Yeah.
And so you see, when 2 wolf people love each other,
when the caves are rocking, don't come a knocking.
Don't come a knocking, right?
Yeah.
Willie, I did. They had, listen, I know that the concept of the show is like, there's parts where it's like talking head, interview section. Right. And then I don't remember if they had any POV moments. They don't have like the GoPros attached to them just yet. Cause this is, it might have been 2013, but there were people who did that. Why wasn't there a camera? Why wasn't Willie like, give me a camera, I'm about to go in this hole?
No, what we see is Willie leans into the hole and immediately is like, whoa, and he like falls back out of the hole. That's what we're treated to as the audience.
Rate it on acting. If Willie was acting, rate his reaction.
If Willie was acting.
If Willie was
a big if.
if
2.
Ben, if TM.
Yeah. 2. I would say that like the physicality of Mountain Monsters is another plus that they get. Is that they do, it is almost Jackass-esque in the way that they will relish in their being injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something about this show that I do believe.
There's a little magic in there.
It's a little magic, and I mean, okay. Now that we've sort of flayed open the first episode of this show, overall thoughts on this one. Knowing that we have seen this show before and we know what to expect, but also just like a big chill overall thought so far.
It's not, for a pilot, I was kind of wondering going in if they were gonna like rein it in, if like it takes a while to build up, or like, they started from like basically nothing in the way that a lot of like cryptid hunting shows do, but I feel like they do like hit the ground running in terms of like they're already basically in conflict with the cryptids. And they're like bringing guns. They're talking about like, we're being flanked, we're surrounded, and it's like they're potentially ready to shoot these creatures.
Yeah,
present them as trophies.
Yeah, there's no like it. I did think about how some shows are like, we're doing this for the first time ever, and this is our first encounter with them, and we're gonna slowly have a thorough line of like, but maybe by the middle of the season, you realize that we are in psychic control. But no, they were like, and they dropped us already at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's going quick. So far, I don't think we've ever seen any guns discharge.
No, it's just mostly pointing.
They do a lot of pointing of guns.
Yeah,
so they don't shoot, which could be a like safety production thing.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
That's why
I wonder. I feel like the guns might not be loaded. Like,
and that when you mentioned that there was like a gun cocking sound despite no movement.
What you see is him just standing there, and then you hear like the, and you're like,
See, you may have some experience in this. As me, as a fully fledged city boy, I don't know shit.
Yeah. You're like Buck is. They're trying to be like, Buck's ready to start shooting. Buck's ready to pop off, and it's like Buck is not ready to pop off. Buck is holding a gun that is probably empty.
Because Buck is sort of kind of getting established as the one who's like shoot first, ask questions later. Because I think I don't know if it was Trapper or Huckleberry who was like, be careful on that starting shooting shit thing. So
Buck is the hair trigger of the group. He's the wild card, the loose cannon.
Baby,
the baby,
green,
teddy
skeptic.
Bear.
Yeah, they said it's like having a teddy bear about him.
It's like having a teddy bear. Yeah.
It's the first episode and we're already doing a lot of thinky thoughts.
We're just thoughts, and you know what? We're gonna have a lot more. Because we got 80 episodes for the next 2 years, probably.
For the next 2 years, I hope that somewhere in the middle of that, we do get invited to whatever network they were last on, and we get our own spin-off of, I don't know, Paranormal Con on Tape.
Yeah, we can do that.
We are the official talking heads for Mountain Monsters.
Yeah.
And
we can do that. Yeah.
And as the official talking heads of Mountain Monsters, let's get on to episode 2.
Let's get on to it. This episode was produced by JD. For all our sources, please support Max and watch Mountain Monsters as it is intended, as it is legal and available, and a lovely platform.
Go ahead and support Max.
Support Max. Max needs it. We'll be back with more Mountain Monsters. And
now, go ahead and hit that play button now.